welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. My name is Adam Cook. I'm your host for this podcast that you're listening to or watching if you're on YouTube. And I am not here alone. I am joined by Christopher White.
Hello.
How you doing, mate? All right?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm top notch. Top notch.
Good to have you here. Adam Carroll.
Adam Cook, how are you?
I like how on the video version you seem to be in a different place every single week.
That's the magic of my life.
Could you keep that going? Like for the rest?
I'm going for a tunnel next week. No, I'm just
365 weeks, days a year, just one,
Cars. Yeah.
And back with us this week. So I'm losing my mind slowly. But Mick, you weren't here last week, so hello, Mick Fraser.
I was not. Hello, how are you?
And just for a minute, I thought you were going to say, "No, I was." I go, "That's embarrassing, isn't it?"
No, it wasn't.
There's Is everyone good? Like, how are we now? We've settled into 2021 a bit more. It's we've the trousers. It's
like
a tight pair of jeans that are sort of just loosening up ever so slightly as the weeks go on.
I wish they were, mate. But no, yes, it's all good. Games are happening.
They are.
Do you know what though? Speaking of like jeans and fat, do you know like. I really think this like the start of this year, like generally it's like January comes in, everyone's getting back into their fitness and they're like doing everything, and it's like, all right, this is a new year, new me, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Nobody is giving a fuck about that. Like,
no, I'm next week as we record this on a Friday.
Come on,
mate, I have to. Like, I'm at the point now where I've kind of got tits. And that's not a good look on anyone. And I kind of have to. And the thing is, man, and not to make this podcast about that sort of stuff, because it's a games podcast, I don't feel great. And I don't mean up there. I mean, I don't feel great. And I gotta at least get down to like an A cup or something.
It's a weird one. I don't know. Just a lot of people are just they're caning the goods again. They're just continuing on.
I can't. I got a cracking chicken pie waiting for me afterwards.
I made a pie last night.
What was it?
You'll just
mate. No, seriously, I really do. No, but it's not for me so much. That anyone who listens to this podcast and has listened to the Fork Off, they need to know.
So cucumber and leek.
Well, you're not far off there, Mick.
Right.
So it got leek, got some broccoli, got some potatoes.
Leek is god tier. Leek's a god tier.
And I got this kind of sauce thing going.
See, here it comes.
Bechamel sauce.
This is absolutely fine. What's the problem here?
I don't know. I thought
that's like a lasagna thing.
Where's the beef?
Have that with a steak, and it's
there you go.
Absolutely fine with that pie. That's
I would eat that pie. Adam. I would come and eat your pie.
If I'm honest, I'm a little disappointed and half tempted for you to say, could we take another take of this? And you maybe say, it's toothpaste and cheese, a little bit of horse meat in there, I don't know, but it's
Jesus, toothpaste and cheese be bad. Do you ever drink a glass of milk after brushing your teeth?
Yeah,
no.
Orange juice after brushing your teeth is the worst.
It's terrible. It really hurts. Video games, huh? Bye.
Yeah. Well, let's not bother with video games. Let's just talk about Monster Hunter, because that's all the world is. Has anyone, in all seriousness, right? Has anyone ever seen as much hype around a demo? Because the last one I can remember, and I may be misremembering, would be like the first BioShock. I can't remember this much hype around a demo of a video game.
Probably, maybe Tony Hawk.
Yeah, but that was pre-order only, if you remember.
What about?
It was actually Jesus.
Hyrule Warrior thing, the Muso Zelda.
Yeah, but this Rise one crashed the eShop or whatever, or the Nintendo Online.
I mean, this is it's all over the place. Considering there's only a couple of hunts in it, people are really rinsing this demo. Unbelievably so.
Can I be the first then to sort of apologise, perhaps, because I'm pretty sure I said I wasn't going to bother with this, last week, didn't I?
Yes,
it was last week, wasn't it? Yeah. Do you know the main reason why, in all seriousness, is that I've played Monster Hunters on 3DS long time ago as well. And the thing about it that really worried me is I didn't want to go from Monster Hunter World, which, you're right, it isn't it didn't have the best visuals ever, the best loading.
But it had the best visuals in a Monster Hunter.
Absolutely, and it ran the best.
Point. Yeah.
And it also controlled the best for me, and that's sacrilege probably.
No, I love it. I couldn't get on with Monster Hunter before.
No, nor could I. It felt too cumbersome. It felt heavy and slow. So I was really worried that going back to the Switch or being a Nintendo exclusive, we were going to get another one of the old Monster Hunter. And more than that, we've seen games that are kind of Switch exclusives that are trying to sort of push the technology, and like Hyrule Warriors, has slowed down. I was worried this would, but that RE engine,
I remember talking to you.
Humble pie time.
And you hadn't yet, and I said it runs really well. And you
I didn't believe you.
Yeah. You said I have to. Yeah, in fact, you said I'm going to download it just to see.
I did, and I did, but Humble Pie, it runs. That engine's magic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, DMC, Resident Evil 7, 3 and 2 remake, and DMC 5. You know, you look at that and you're like, this looks.
It's just smooth. The engine just makes its games run super smooth.
I mean, even online. I mean, the Switch isn't great online, but I was playing Monster Hunter with. There was 4 of us, and then you've got your Palico and Palamute or whatever. So there's those 4 too. And then there's 2 monsters duking it out, and there's all this shit going on, and it was just like butter. It didn't drop a frame. Just really impressive.
So how are we feeling about it then? I mean, Mick, I think you've shown your hand.
Oh,
I mean, that might as well be a Monster Hunter T-shirt and cap somehow.
Next week.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll save that for the launch when it launches.
So how many of us? This will be interesting. How many of us on this podcast ordered the kind of limited edition that comes with the amiibo?
I did.
No.
Yep.
I'm still on the fence about it. Like just
the game or the
Jesus, not the game. Just that edition. Just because I just don't really have.
Yeah.
The amiibo, I'm fine without. Like if the steelbook and stuff was involved in that, maybe I'd be going a bit more. That's just kind of more my thing.
Is it not? Oh no, it's not. Is it?
No, it's not.
There's a Mario one though.
Don't even get me started.
Well, I don't know whether to admit this publicly, but I think I've got my problems. I mean, you can see the problem behind me pretty much.
Yeah, you're an amiibo whore.
Yeah, but I got out of it, and
I back in, baby.
I think I've got 5 pre-ordered.
Of this year.
You got Terry Bogard. You got I didn't order the Smash. Well, they're all Smash ones, but I got the Terry Bogard, Banjo Kazooie, the Cat Mario and Cat Peach, and this Monster Hunter one. I need an intervention at some point in this year. But Monster Hunter Rise is
Monster Hunter Rise.
Ads, you loved World.
I loved World. It was the first real proper Monster Hunter that I played. I played a bit of that Generations one, I think, if that's what it was called, in 3DS.
The one after. Oh shit!
I don't know when it came into play, but it was the 3DS one anyway. And I remember thinking, like, that's fine. World, I got really into. We had some good playthroughs with that. I never reached as far as Iceborne, which is it's a real shame because I know that's supposed to be incredible, but just lifetime things changing, all that jazz. But Rise, oh lads, it's fucking back. That feeling of what World did for me and stuff, and I just like starting Rise. I just had it felt exactly the same for me anyway, and I don't know, Mick, you be able to say if it did or not, like, but I just thought it felt pretty much identical. It was running really well. I still have to play with a lot more of the other weapons. I always go for like long swords because I just love that long, big fucking wind up and slash down and stuff like that. Just loving the I don't know what fucking dogs, wolves that you get to ride on now and stuff.
And Palicos.
Like that is just top drawer.
Is that new? Like wholly new? It is completely new.
Yeah.
That to me is that's like a someone who's like, we can make this even cuter. You know, we can actually we can put dogs in it.
In Iceborne, they let they let you ride the wildlife. So like when you did you had to do a certain quest in each area after Iceborne launched it. I think it was you could do it any time during the Iceborne story, but anyway. And if you did this particular quest in every area, you got to ride the endemic life. So you would whistle, and then like in the ancient forest, a Jagras would come and you'd ride on that. But you couldn't control it freely. It would just ride you to the monster or to the camp, or So it just allowed you to put the controller down and let it run. And I think obviously it came from that, because as soon as that happened, everybody was like, "Why can't we just ride them?" And it's because obviously World was built differently.
But let's make no bones about it. This is cats and dogs.
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you had the cat already that you could fuss and play around with, and they just went, let's just give him a dog as well, because I bet you can pet the Palamute. In fact, I think you can pet the Palamute.
100% would be sure that you can. It's difficult because it is a demo, and it's not like there's not a huge amount of content. Like,
That's fine.
No, but there's also some weird stuff that is like, when you do matchmake with your friends, it's like you have very limited time. But I think that's because it's a demo.
I think what's interesting about this demo, well, what's kind of, I suppose it's not bizarre, that's not the word I'd use, but what they let you do and let you play around with. But like, take for example the resources when you kill a monster stuff, they let you actually like pick up the resource and skin it, whatever. But then you can do nothing with it, obviously. Do you know? And I just think that's kind of like, I wonder, are they leaving those options open in the demo? How many people are going to be brand new to Monster Hunter? This, like as I said, World was my one. But yeah, I think like, is Rise going to be, how many people are going to play this for the first time? Like the demo offering these new features and showing off little bits and bobs of what's to come for people. Because as I was like picking up the stuff after killing any sort of like monster, I was just like, this feeling again, and the accomplishment of getting those resources. And I'm like, just give me the game now, because you do another hunt straight away and you're like, there's that feeling again, give me the full version. I want to look unreal. Like, Mick, like how many hours have you put into World?
A lot.
On how many platforms?
It's like 1,000 and something on PS4 and now PS5, and I think must be 250, 300 on PC, because I did the whole thing again and I've been playing on that. And then I played it for a bit on Xbox as well, because it was on. This
is the thing I want to ask you, Mick, right? For somebody who's put that much time into World, right? Did you play Rise and like still feel like, this is a brand new Monster Hunter game?
I was
like, were you totally invested in this? Like,
absolutely.
Are you willing to put this much time all over again into the next?
100%. Yeah, I could sit and play.
That's an achievement. I
at
feel.
Any point now. Just I mean, I've used up the 30 hunts on my profile, so I downloaded it on the other Switch, so I could carry on playing on the other Switch, and I think I've used about 10 of those, and I just keep going back, and because I still, after probably close to 1,400 hours maybe in total on World, I still have never played with 2 or 3 of the weapons. I just never gone and tried some of them, so I've been trying those on Rise. And there were weapons where I said, when Rise was announced, I went, I'm going to leave that now, and maybe I'll main that weapon in Rise just for a different experience. But I've gone into Rise and just gone, nope, charge blade, longsword, and just carried on exactly as I was before. But I just love it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I was talking to Steve, one of our Patreons, the other day, because I was playing it with him, and he was saying, you know what, like, these resources that are dropping, he says, how many of these resources are the rare 1% drops do you think that you're getting now? And then when the game launches, you'll just never be able to get those drops again. Because obviously Monster Hunter, RNG in Monster Hunter is a massive element. It's a massive part of Monster Hunter. So yeah, you can guarantee, especially with my luck. I mean, there's things like...
It's dead weird though, man, because like there's not a lot. This is going to be, I said last week, it's going to be a weird year for games, isn't it? Like, Monster Hunter's got an opportunity to actually not just be really successful, like, the day it comes out. I think it's got the potential to be like this year's Animal Crossing, like, to dominate the industry.
Well, I mean, look at what World did for Capcom. I mean, like, I know that Monster Hunter was kind of a niche thing, before World, right? It was only on the DS, I think, and then it came to the Wii U, and I tried it. I know a lot of people tried it before World and just thought, this is really dense. And it was quite hard.
Remember the Circle Pad Pro? Because I'm still convinced they put that out just to try and get people into
I tried
Monster Hunter. That's what I mean.
3 or 4, it might have been 4 Ultimate.
4 Ultimate, yeah.
The Circle Pad Pro, because it was the only way I could play it, and I just couldn't quite get into it. I just thought, what's the big fuss all about? But then, I mean, World is still, wasn't it like Capcom's? Isn't it Capcom's biggest selling? Game now. And you think of the games that Capcom has, that's ridiculous.
It's serious.
That's the Resident Evils, that's the Street Fighters, that's
Mega Man.
Do you know what I mean? It's nuts to think that, and World did that. So
where are you sitting, Chris, on Rise? Hey,
I don't want to.
Chris, what's up?
Nothing. I just don't want to ruin the mood, but like, I'm not. It's not that it's bad. It's just I don't really tend to play demos. I just want the whole thing now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I played a few.
Because I've literally played the hunt twice, 2 hunts twice, and like I really enjoy it.
Yep.
But I don't I don't want to just replay it. I want to play the whole thing and
What
probably get stuck into.
What game did that to you? Because for me, it was Destiny, the first one, the beta that was the same over and over again. I don't play demos now unless I have to.
Yeah, like, and it also doesn't do anything because it's coming out in March, and I'm like, that's fucking miles away.
Yeah.
But no, like, it's amazing. Like, from what I've seen, like, it's excellent.
Yeah.
But it's not the full game, and I want the full game.
No, like, and I definitely respect what you're saying with that, like, because I think what the biggest strength that this demo offers really is the fact you can jump in with your friends on it, and I think like letting you do that and getting that feeling across, is it just makes the game like it'll sell like crazy from that feeling alone. If you never played it, you go, oh, come in there and let's just have a round of this, let's have one hunt and see how you feel about it. Like, it doesn't take long for you to really realize if you're going to be into it or not. You know, Monster Hunter is just
it's a good little taster for new people as well.
See, this is the thing. I think it's as much for new people. I think it's as much for fans of World as it is for new people, because I think they went, we're doing the next Monster Hunter, because everybody knows that Monster Hunter World 2 is going to come at some point. Like, they've finished now, development is finished on Monster Hunter World. They've said there's no more content coming for World. They've unlocked all the events and quests. Now you can just play as much of Monster Hunter World as you want until the next one, because that's what's going to happen. The A team, or whichever team it is going to continue now, I believe, with Monster Hunter World 2, which is probably going to come next year or whatever.
You think it'll be called that? Like,
I don't know.
No, okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if it is, but I don't know. But I mean, Rise is now a separate thing, so that'll continue. And I think a lot of it was when they announced it, and they went new Monster Hunter World, new Monster Hunter game, Switch exclusive. There would have been a collective groan from the people that don't own the Switch, from the people that have only played World, going, oh, it's handheld again. It's like that. And to a certain point, I think Capcom wanted to say, this is how it fucking runs on the Switch before you
give your mouth,
before you start being negative and saying it's not going to work.
There are rumors due to those. I don't really like covering those leaks, but one of those, because Capcom had their data breached, and we haven't really covered that on the site, and I don't really want to because it feels dirty. But one of the things was that this game, Rise, is coming to PC. Now, obviously, Capcom haven't confirmed or denied that because they are not going to react to those leaks. Well, it's not leaks, breaches, the data breach in any way. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
No, I wouldn't be.
But I would be surprised if it was anywhere close to the March release date. Like, it's probably 6 months at least.
I would have thought, like they did with the console version to PC. I don't think they'll do that. But I've heard, there's a lot of rumours swirling around. I've heard that there's going to be a second demo, which wouldn't surprise me. They've shown a handful of monsters. There's going to be a lot.
Might be too much. Might be too much.
I think it might be too much. If they were to just release another, like, I kind of don't want to see, like, we've seen the second area in the trailers.
But then why is the demo timed into the end of this month?
That's what I mean. It does
not,
kind of
there's
stop
a reason.
February, and then
maybe that's Nintendo's policy now. Maybe it's now a Nintendo policy that things are only allowed to exist for a certain amount of time. Because they did it with all the Mario stuff. Maybe this is not them. It's Nintendo going, no, the demo can only exist for 1 month.
But it's such a long way away, the release. It's not, but it is. It feels like ages.
It feels like when you want it, yeah.
When they stop me being allowed to play this demo, it's going to feel like ages until the release of the game.
Maybe 6 weeks it'll be by that point, but then that's still 6 weeks.
But I still think a second demo wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
No, but then what would it be? What would be in it? What would be the point of it? Why not just open the other demo with a different monster?
Another monster or two. It's
but then I kind of don't want, because they've shown a lot of monsters. Like, they're going to surprise us. They always do. There's always, there's going to be 30 plus monsters, I imagine, at launch. This is pretty standard. And then there's going to be more added and what have you. There'll be an expansion down the line, because there always is. But I think I don't want them to show any more. Like, I'm quite happy to be surprised by the rest of the game. I don't want to see the character creation or the village or the gathering hub and all that sort of stuff. I want to get all that later. I'm happy that it runs as well as it does.
Well, there is definitely that, yeah. The thing is, like, with Monster Hunter, because it's such a big deal right now, it doesn't, like I said before, it doesn't feel like there's an awful lot happening in games. But that's not true. Like, Chris has been playing Persona 5 Strikers. Well, I have as well, which was originally known as Persona I had this Persona 5 Scramble, the Phantom Strikers. This is the Musou game. So I mean that's out next month, which is before Monster Hunter Rise. In fact, both the games you've been playing are out next month, aren't they? Little Nightmares 2's out next month.
Yes. Yeah. Fab.
And stuff is happening. Like I say, we've been previewing stuff. Persona 5 Strikers is one I think is worth mentioning here because I think it's taken us both by surprise.
Oh yeah, I think the fact that you are not a big fan of Musou, and I've grown. Kind. I know, I've grown quite tired of it. It does a lot more than just make you fight countless enemies, and it manages to kind of retain the style of Persona 5, and it kind of feels like like we mentioned in the preview chat that what Yakuza did in their series was they kept much of the gameplay the same in terms of wandering around Kamurocho or wherever you are at that point, and then the fighting is completely different. Whereas Persona is pretty much the same. Like you still wander around. It's a lot more not linear, but it's kind of pointing you in the right direction. You're not free to go off and talk to whoever you want and do little side missions in this preview. But the combat isn't turn-based. It's completely different. There are elements of the fight and the combat that are the same, like the all-out attacks and the showtime from Persona 5 Royal. But you are fighting waves of enemies, but you're also using your personas as well. So one of the big things is when you're doing damage and you want to use a persona, you hold in the R1 button and it freezes everything, and it gives you time to choose which persona you want to use that you've got equipped, which attack you want to use, and then you kind of let them do their attack. And there's just a lot of moving parts in combat that kind of elevate it above just a standard, Dynasty Warrior style Musou game.
Do you think this is going to do? Because I always get the feeling that the Persona games, everyone loves them when they talk about them. Like, there's no one who goes like, "Oh, I played Persona 5 and it was shocking." Everyone who plays them is like, "Oh, I wish I had more time because I loved it." Do you think? I just get the feeling they never actually do very well in the West.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, they must do well enough that they keep, translating them and bringing them out.
P4 Golden was very much a game that was never really hype when it was out, but when anyone goes, "Oh, give me a good JRPG to play," everyone goes straight to that. Like, it's highly regarded, but it's not talked about as much as it probably should be. And I think Persona 5 is like that. And I think when this comes out, it won't get a lot of people playing it because they'll think, "Oh, it's just Musou," or it's just.
Well, the thing is, it is Musou, but it's also really story heavy.
But it's the same as like P5. Like,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. People are put off by like, "Oh, it's too much reading, it's too much story. I just want to play the game." That stuff is in this game as well, and so is the Musou stuff.
Yeah,
and like
that's
for some people, yeah, no, I agree. But I'm saying for some people, I think that's going to be a big turn-off. I don't know. Maybe just me.
I think it might not do what the numbers they want. It might very well slip off the radar a little bit. But it shouldn't, because it's
no. I agree. Like I'm with you in that it's. You see, the problem I've got now, right, is that these days for a game to be 30 to 40 hours and me go, "I'm in," it has to be something that is kind of exceptional. So I finished Immortals and I did loads of side stuff, but for me that was one that I found was kind of exceptional. We a lot of us put it on our Game of the Year lists. A lot of us loved it. It was an exceptional video game. Yeah. I really like what I've played of Persona 5 Strikers, but when I'm told it's like 30 plus out, because it's out in Japan, so it's not like breaking any embargo. You can look online probably at how long to beat. It's 30 plus hours. I'm like, I don't know if I want to give 30 plus hours to this game, although I like it a lot.
There's loads of stuff that we couldn't play in the demo preview.
Yeah,
like the whole we literally stayed in Shibuya, the opening, like the same place as Persona 5. Like, there's a whole traveling thing where you go to 6 cities in Japan and you do a road trip and you live on the road for a bit, and there's all that which we haven't seen. We've seen how the Palace's jail thing works.
Yeah.
We've seen how the combat works, but we've not kind of been let loose with it. So we don't know how much freedom there actually is. And I think Persona 5 fans are going to enjoy it, I think so, yeah. Because the combat's much more advanced than I expected it to be, but it's the same kind of feeling with the gameplay.
But of course, you've also got the aspect of that it is a sequel, so and we talked about this in the preview video. I don't feel like they expect you to have finished it, but they don't mind if you don't, and they don't spoil it if you haven't.
They don't really tell you what. They don't tell you any of the main story beats from the.
There's sort of reference to this. Something happened. We did something as a team of the Phantom Thieves, but they never really completely spoil it. So there is potential that you could go back and play 5 or 5 Royal after.
Well, essentially, you know that they won.
Yeah, they're
but
still
then
here.
That's every game pretty much ever.
Yeah,
you don't finish a game and then you get shot and then the credits roll. It's expected that they were going to do what they needed to do,
yes.
But it's I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to playing more of it, but it might just slip off the radar because of what it is and what it's trying to be.
Yeah, that's
my thing is that's what I played at Persona 5. I absolutely Golden is one of my favorite games of all time. 5 is just that I'm in that camp. I just don't have the time to play it.
Don't have the time.
Fucking thing. And I'm just all I want. What I have played of it, I absolutely adored. But now hearing that Strikers is apparently 30 hours, in my head I'm kind of going, well, if I'm going to give that fucking 30 hours, I should be putting those 30 hours into the actual Persona 5 games. Yeah. That's just how I see it.
I just think
I think you're right.
That Strikers is worth a shout at the moment because it's not just a game where they went, we can make more money by making this a Koei Tecmo sort of a Mega Force Musou game, another Warriors game, and we can just do that with it. This feels like the people making it understand and get Persona. The Persona 5, and it does feel. I can't sit here and say I've played them all. I played a lot of them. Hyrule Warriors, a lot of the Orochi games, a lot of the Warriors games. I've tried a lot of them. I can't honestly say that this feels anything like those. This feels so much better because it takes the source material and says, well, we're going to turn it into one of these, but we're not going to forget the source material. We're going to keep it as part of the DNA of the game, and I think that's kind of a big deal for me. Yeah. Let's talk about some gaming news because there's a lot happening. I didn't think much would, and it's been an incredibly Star Warsy sort of week or so.
LucasArts Games.
Yeah, Lucasfilm is now back as LucasArts Games. Jedi Fallen Order has been patched for next gen. Adam, you were saying that you'd had a look at that on PS5, right?
Yeah, pretty random to just get a patch for that game. Literally just the day after I decided to go and play this game again, because really? I didn't finish it. I didn't think I gave it a fair shot. I think
you really didn't think so?
Well, yeah. Well, I did go to fucking 4 planets.
So you're not the kind of guy who dumps a game quick. So I think you.
No, I just had a lot more problems with it. I don't know. I was just trying to get my head around. I felt like I was just getting lost in that game in ways that I didn't want it to happen, and I didn't like the map layouts. But knowing that that's what I was going in for, in my head I was like, it's a fucking Star Wars game and I want to play it and I want to see the story and this, that and the other. So I just said, when the patch came, I was like, oh, excellent. So the whole 60 frames per second thing is after coming to play.
Does it make a difference?
Yeah, it looks great. I know a lot of people are kind of going, I just prefer the higher resolution and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
I think 60 FPS it looks great on it. It makes everything look smoother. Some of the character mods are a bit weird at times, but that's whatever. The game overall, though, I still have there's still popping things. There's still popping textures happening.
Do you know what? I've had a lot of. I've tried. I've like you. I've gone back to it. I even last time I did it, I decided, right, I'm a Jedi anyway, or I'm going to become a Jedi, so I'm going to just stick it on easy and just smash through this game because why not? I want to see where this game goes, right? And I still didn't get through it. I think my biggest problem with this game. It's been out over a year now. I really have thought about this game a lot because everything about it should be an Adam game. It should be. It should be. It's made by Respawn, who I love. It's Star Wars, which I enjoy. It's a soulsy action adventure. That's my bag.
Yeah.
I don't think the design, the actual map design, the world design is very good. I think they try and do what the Souls games do, where you sort of wrap round on yourself, unlock a shortcut, and it's like shortcut unlocked. But I don't think the actual level layouts are very good.
No, but then I definitely would be in the exact same camp as you when this game first came out. We were chatting about it, you know. That was my criticisms there. But like when I just realized, as I said, what I was going back into again and taking my time and not and getting over the fact that I wasn't playing The Force Unleashed or something like that I was just going to walk in as like the most badass Jedi straight off the bat. Why did
they make this game? Why didn't they make a game like that, but with their pedigree? Why did they go, oh, yeah, well, Souls games are popular and Metroidvanias are popular, we'll do that? Why? Because that's not what Titanfall 2 is. Titanfall 2 is like their, this is our stamp, we're the best. This just feels like, yeah, we can do that as well. To me, that's what it really comes across as. Oh, yeah, we can do that too. It's like, yeah, but you can also do way better, cooler shit. And The Mandalorian's shown that Star Wars aren't like, no, you mustn't do that, you mustn't do that. You know, there's a lot, you know, I don't know, man. I will go back to it because I want to try it as well.
I like Fallen Order, though. I like the character.
That's fine.
I like Cameron.
You're allowed. Chris likes it too. It's allowed.
I think as a snippet of a Star Wars, because like I said before, Star Wars likes to do the same. Like we're always stuck in the same time period.
Yeah,
They won't leave that period of.
They won't do an Andromeda
the films. Yeah, or a fucking the Old Republic, which is what you know, half of the good stuff in Star Wars is. But like the Fallen Order, I quite like the story. I really liked. I tell you what, how I enjoyed Fallen Order. I dropped the difficulty on it.
Well, that's what I was saying. I even tried that, and it didn't. Just didn't.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it didn't earn for me. It didn't earn that Souls-like thing because I don't think it was precise enough. It didn't have the precision to do that. It didn't have the, you know, it wasn't tight enough. Because the reason Souls games are so good is because the combat's so tight. Like everything works so well. When you do that with a game that's a little bit loose and slidey, like Fallen Order is, it doesn't quite work. So I just dropped the difficulty and had a ball with it.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to like.
Go on, mate. Go on.
Oh no, sorry. I was just going to say, like, I just think when playing the game, it's just a matter of trying to figure out what it is you kind of thought it was going to be and just letting that go. Because like when I was starting, I kind of was like, is this supposed to be a Souls game? Am I supposed to make it feel like a Souls game? Is this supposed to be an Uncharted game? Am I supposed to make it feel like an Uncharted game? When you just let it be and just kind of go, okay, that's what it's going into these avenues, and I'm just going to let it be. Like as you said, Mick, the combat and the looseness of it, like it still is. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. But then as I think of anything Star Wars that I've watched or anything like that, like I was in my head going, why couldn't the gameplay have been like Spider-Man or Batman? But it's like, it's not what Jedis do in Star Wars. They're not sliding on their legs and jumping over fucking heads and stuff.
But it also has a really weird pacing. Like, take all that outside and I feel like the pacing strains. Like, it starts strong. Like, I started as like, in here. And then you hit that first proper platform and it crashes to the point where I reckon a lot of people probably stopped playing and never came back. Because I felt like it just drops off.
I thought it just kept... Like, I didn't feel like wandering in it. Like normally when I play a game like that, when you can wander, I'll wander. But I just wanted. I really got sucked in.
Fair enough.
I'm doing a lot of that now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the wandering around and discovering and reading all.
I did it after. The kind of data I did a lot of stuff later on. But yeah.
I have to stress as well, though. I just think overall, it's because of watching like Mandalorian season 2. Yeah. I was just like, oh, I'm so in my Star Wars buzz again, and like I've watched all the movies again, and everything has just been like Star Wars in my life, and it's like all 10 out of 10 in my head. And when I'm playing Fallen Order, it's just like sounds, all the stuff. It's all, those beats that are there for Star Wars are nailed. Like all the sound design, all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm kind of just having a better time with it now, basically.
Well, let's talk about like Star Wars is movies are hitting games again. Like Star Wars, the license for EA had an exclusive license, although it wasn't fully exclusive because Warner Brothers did the Lego games, so it's kind of a weird one. But EA were basically the kind of we're making Star Wars games, and that is going to run out in 2023, and that means that Star Wars, so basically the people behind the Disney Games division, if you will, have basically said, we want to hear your pitches, and Ubisoft have pitched and been successful, and Ubisoft are making a Star Wars game that is an open world, I think they have said action adventure game, and it's made by Ubisoft Massive, which is the Division and the Division 2 people. I kind of in my head think this is a Mandalorian game. I'm not saying it is, but in my head I'm same as you had. I've watched Mandalorian and it's like everything I want to be that now, and in my head I'm taking Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Immortals, and then going, but the Assassin's Mandalorian. Creed, well, yeah, but I'm going those two sort of squish them together, and I'm going, I'm there for that, 100% there for that. Weird.
They'll do something like create. I think there'd be an attack on a Jedi Academy.
You reckon?
And it would this is just a random idea, but somewhere where you can create a character that can then go out into the world, and calling it an open world is fine, but like Star Wars universe covers hundreds of planets, so how are they going to do that side of it? Like, is it going to be like
what if Beyond Good and Evil
like the
2
Old
is
Republic,
now Star
where
Wars? What if Beyond Good and Evil 2 is now Star Wars? Because that's the kind of thing they've done. It's already.
Yeah,
but
they'll do it like KOTOR, I imagine. To be honest, I think it'll be I think there'll be strong similarities to the Old Republic, and maybe not 100% intentionally, but I think there will be because that was. I mean, it wasn't open world, was it?
The Witcher.
I think it'll be Assassin's Creed. Yeah, I think.
Where every place you fast travel. Well, you know what I mean. There's a loading screen, but there won't be a loading screen. There'll be a video of you getting in your ship and then flying off to another planet. But yeah, like. Get like next gen Tatooine or Coruscant, it'd be amazing. So there's plenty of room for them to make something great, and I'm well up for Ubisoft doing it. Well, you go on social media and you see that fucking meme where there's like a picture of a guy smiling. It's everyone's excited for a new Star Wars game, and then the other memes in pulling a face going, "Oh, Ubisoft are making it."
Oh, really?
Fucking hell! Oh my god!
I don't go on social media anymore.
Get a different fucking meme, you wankers.
Yeah, I don't go on social media. You're not making me want to come back.
Yeah, but
it's not going to be out for at least 2 years. Like they won't be able to release it until 2023 because the exclusivity deal's still in place. So part of me and we'll move on to it, but part of me wonders why all of a sudden we're getting game announcements for games that are years away, because Bethesda are making an Indiana Jones game. That is every bit of information we have about it right now. My guess would be this is their Xbox's answer to Uncharted, finally.
Oh, yeah.
But like this is again years off, and Bethesda
have they confirmed that's an exclusive. I know we.
No, they've done nothing but say we are making Indiana Jones.
They didn't even give a logo or title.
No title.
Anything.
It's like the Bond game from IOI.
Didn't they just show the whip? And then
and the camera and the
music beat, and then it was that.
And then in tiny text at the bottom it said Indiana Jones.
It's worth saying that this is in development and it's being made by Machine Games, which is the Wolfenstein reboot.
That's such a
people.
Weird choice.
That is a weird choice because it makes you think it's going to be.
Have done what have they done?
Well, Wolfenstein and lots of other stuff, but
in ways
have they done lots of other stuff? I don't know. I only heard of them because of Wolfenstein.
I will check, but I don't. I mean, that is the game that. Yeah. That's the game.
I think though in some ways it's kind of a little bit more fun to have a developer like them.
Just Wolfenstein, by the way. Sorry, just Wolfenstein. That is what they've done.
Them taking this on is so bizarre because, like, let's just say if it wouldn't be, but if it was Naughty Dog doing Indiana Jones game, we'd all know what that game would be like, pretty much. Do you know? And that's just that.
I'd be up for them doing like
Indiana Jones game,
a faster paced, like Wolfenstein, how fast it kind of was, like. If they did it first person, it's not free running, but made it like Mirror's Edge or something, where you've got your whip and your lasso and your shit around, and like, I'd be well up for that.
It's been a while coming, I think, because I think that Jesus, how many Indiana Jones games were there? I played one on the PC a bit, and there was absolutely
Fate of Atlantis. I remember that.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. And, what was the one on? I think it was on PS2 and Xbox 360. I want to say.
Was the one based on the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull?
Oh, jeez, there fucking shouldn't have been.
I'm sure there was.
Fucking hell!
It's good that all these films are coming into games because they're certainly
Indiana Jones.
They're not coming out of the cinema. So
the thing is, Indiana Jones has gone on now. It's been so long since there was a film. You can, and I know they keep making rumors about there going to be a fifth one. I don't believe it until I see them making it. But the Staff of Kings, that was Nintendo DS. The Emperor's Tomb, that's what I'm thinking of. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. Jesus, the Fate of Atlantis was 1992.
Fucking hell, it's a while away.
Well, that's how I remember it. But yeah, it's been so long since there was a film. It's almost like they can do what they want now, isn't it? It's almost like we can do what you've got.
Yeah, I'll welcome it. It's good.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I hope people aren't going to be all fucking like, oh, just another Uncharted, all stuff. It's probably definitely going to happen, but
yeah,
we'll see. So it's a long way off, anyways, and they didn't even fucking announce anything at all for this. It was just, as Adam was saying, like, here's a game that could be coming out in fucking 5 years' time for all you know.
Well, at least it's on the horizon. It's always good to know.
So, again, another thing in the news that I thought were worth mentioning, because I think it's probably going to excite Adam Carroll the most, is Pokemon Snap, or new Pokemon Snap. Right?
Are we being serious here?
Not your cup of tea?
Not particularly, no.
Oh,
what
I
is
put it
that,
on
then?
thinking...
Is it like Pokemon Go, but you take pretend pictures of them and you switch instead?
I can't, like, I haven't been Pokemon...
Not to completely...
like, Indigo League was my thing, and that was it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's not my cup of tea anyway, but, I mean, I'm sure it'll be lots of people's. I mean, is this going to be the thing this year where, like you said, because you said about Animal Crossing and Monster Hunter
this won't.
Is this not going to be another? Because I saw it and I went, "Oh, that's going to be everybody."
Well, it depends, man, because the original Pokemon Snap was very short. So if this is just that again, because this is a boxed release.
Snap, yeah, it was actually.
Yeah, it was like a few hours long. Like,
didn't the last Pokemon game not set the world on fire? I mean, I didn't follow
it was fine.
Well, a little bit.
Never played it.
It made out that it was going to be like
me neither.
Something like really special in my head. Anyway, I thought it was going to be like just the Pokemon game I've wanted for a long time, but then it was just like a Pokemon game, and I was like, sorry to make Pokemon heads angry, but like, Jesus,
do it.
I only like
very
Pokemon
bored of those games at that stage.
I only get excited about Pokemon when you've seen those artist impressions of what they'd look like in real life. And like this terrifying creation.
Yeah. Jesus Christ! Yeah,
I sit and look at that all day.
I honestly thought this would be one to put on because Adam would be excited because it's a Switch game, it's Pokemon. But we can just move on to listener correspondence and forget we ever mentioned.
Sorry,
Pokemon Snap.
I'm all happy for all the Switch games coming out, but
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true, actually. That's next month, isn't it? No, it was April. I've forgotten now. There you go. It's just a figment of our imagination. Thomas has sent us a load of questions, so let's get into them. This is a good one. What console did you covet in your youth, but you never actually owned? He said he always fancied a Neo Geo, but as a 10-year-old, he would have struggled to get the required mortgage because they were very expensive. For me, it was a SNES. I never owned a SNES.
Really?
I had a Mega Drive. We couldn't afford both. Mate had a SNES, and I just spent all my time playing that. I played it through all of Mario World, borrowing it off of mates, and I think I must have got one eventually, but I wanted that SNES so bad. I had a NES. Yeah. I had a NES, but then I went Mega Drive for some reason. I never had a Master System. I went NES, Mega Drive. I don't know how or why. I think I played Sonic around a mate's house. The only
console I have not owned, the only console out of all those that I have not owned, is a PS2.
What?
That's the only console. How? My daughter had one a few years back, much later, when I was coming through the consoles and that, because I had the 360, I think it must have been the Xbox at the time, and was the original Xbox, wasn't it? PlayStation 2. I'm really hazy on.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I was Xbox, and because I borrowed like Halo off my uncle and fell in love, and that was it. And I didn't bother. I didn't need a PS. I didn't even get a PS3.
I've never owned an Xbox.
About games.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Never.
I only bought a PS3 because I started at God is a Geek. That's when I bought a PS3 because I wanted to cover games.
I don't know if I want to tell this, but I can proudly lay claim to being the one who told my mate, don't buy an Xbox. Xbox Live Arcade is never going to take off. Seriously, he wanted Halo. And I was like, nah, Microsoft don't do first-person shooters. And that, like, online gaming is never, ever going to take off.
We had a Neo Geo in the house because my older stepbrother had a Neo Geo. Which at the time was just something real. I mean, not everybody wanted one because it wasn't like it is now, was it? But at the time, he made out like it was the greatest thing since.
Yeah.
But he had like a mini disc player and all sorts of
stuff. Chris, like anything that you always wanted and didn't get?
No, because at some point I got them all, but not like straight away.
Yeah,
I'm not like
I mean, I've got a SNES down there now, like literally behind me. But
I went from NES to Mega Drive.
How weird.
As well. I didn't get a SNES till
FIFA was a big deal as well. FIFA was on the Mega Drive, and that was a big deal for me. I don't know, Adam would have been all over FIFA. FIFA 98.
That was where I started my journey into FIFA. It was FIFA 95 I got first.
Yeah, FIFA 95, yeah.
And
the big chunky white box with like a kind of similar to the box art now, but less.
Yeah. So
hip.
Yeah, but I always kind of fancied getting a Game Gear, but it wasn't like I really wanted it.
They were bloody heavy. The batteries in that bloody thing, my God.
No,
I borrowed one.
Quite fortunate.
Any consoles you always wanted but never owned?
SNES as well. I started off with like Master System, then Mega Drive, and then like I had the only Nintendo console I had when I was younger was Game Boy Advance, and then it was like PlayStation N64 kind of job. That's when, and then it was kind of like around the N64, GameCube time that I was like, oh my God, like I'm so into Nintendo more than anything, like. And that's just that. But I really, really wish I had a SNES because fuck, I'd love to own all those games.
Okay.
We had a Saturn for a while as well. Do you remember?
Yeah, I had one of them. Yeah.
It was all because of my older stepbrother. He had a little bit of
big
money at the time, and he was quite into it. Yeah. So.
Did you guys have Dreamcasts?
Yeah,
I had a Dream. I didn't have a Dreamcast.
How many games were that again?
In the house.
4?
Loads, because it was the most easily piratable console of all of them. So like around our way, it was mental.
Sonic Adventure, Shenmue and Shenmue 2.
Of course.
No Power Stone. No Power Stone in your house.
No Jet Set Radio.
Resident Evil
Fantasy
Code
Star
Veronica.
Online?
No, none of that.
Fantasy Star.
No.
Wow.
I bought it for Shenmue.
Fair enough.
Of all of them, though, I tell you, I think that of all of them, the N64 was probably the one I've, like, not so much up to like the newer consoles, but growing up, coming through the consoles I had when I was younger, the N64 just dominated our house when it came out.
The one I missed that I sold and I wish I never did was the GameCube. But you know.
Oh man,
you've got one there. I
know. It's behind me now.
That console is special.
Yeah, I've never plugged it in, Mick, but I plan to.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
Is there many how many games have you roughly played on a GameCube?
I bought one on launch, so I had.
Like, have you played the heavy hitters? Like
Beyond Good and Evil, I played a lot on.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
What was the horror
Waker
game?
on that? And
Yeah.
I had Wind Waker,
Eternal Darkness.
Yeah. No, I played them. It's not even that I have an affection for the console. I like how it looks. I love that that's this little box with a little handle on it, like a hand. I just think it's wonderful looking design. Anyway, sticking to consoles then, Thomas wants to know, with the novelty factor fading away from them, how do you now feel or think of the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X?
I was thinking about this. Sorry to jump in. I was thinking about this myself the other day because I had an old picture. I say old, like a couple of months back, and it had the PS4 and the Xbox One X on the desk. I thought, I forgot to change those. Like, you know, it's just they've already become like part of the furniture. It's just naturally got PS5 and Xbox.
I'm afraid
which is
of
weird
them
because I know there's some people still really trying hard to get hold of them.
I'm afraid of those consoles now. Like my PS5, every time I turn it on now that they're sort of playing it every day, all the time, everything's on my PS5. Now it's died down to becoming just a console that I like. Every time I play it, something goes wrong. Like at the moment, I've got 2 games I've deleted.
Not like Miles Morales.
That's one I've had no problem with. But at the moment, I've got Dirt 5, which I've deleted because I have it on Xbox, and I have Call of Duty, the PS4 version of Blackout mode, that are still on my media bar, but they're both deleted. So there's like a blank tile with no picture that says to download them again. And I know the way to get rid of them is to download them again and delete them, but I don't want to download a fucking 150 gigs for nothing. I have my Xbox Series X now seems to be behaving itself. I believe the issue was the external storage, because the hard drive I had is a USB 2.0 one. Now I thought that the USB 3.0 requirement was only for playing like current gen games, not your old ones. It's not. So it's obviously they are working, but it was messing with the system trying to run off this device it couldn't transfer data quick enough from. So removing that has taken 4 terabytes of my storage away, but it does seem to be behaving itself now. And what I realised is that, these things are not fucking big enough, man. Like, they are not. Like, the Series S behind me over here, like, it's just...
It's got 4
games
full
on it. Yeah.
I've got... I say full. It's got about 60 gig, but I'd maybe get one game on it.
The thing is, like, the Series S I don't mind as much because I think you buy that knowing what it is.
Yeah.
you realise, you know what there's the Series X, which is supposed to be like your 4K machine that runs everything the best it can run. I've got no space. Like I've got games in cold storage on another hard drive.
And that extra storage is just ridiculous.
Well, I was thinking about that. I thought, you know what? Now I know what the problem is. Now I know it's not the box, it's the storage. I'll get that storage thing. And then I looked it up and I remembered, oh, yes, it's 250 quid. And it's like, no way.
Yeah. Storage shouldn't cost as much as the console cost, you know what I mean?
I could just connect the Series S to it somehow. Like, you know,
Yeah, I'm at max storage capacity now, and every game I have on it, I want to play. Like, I want to start and finish.
And that's where I am with the PS5.
Super. Whereas that before would have been like, oh, I just have you, like, Uncharted 4 is just on it because I want to keep. Want to play you.
I would say, in fairness, are you not, like, so you're probably talking about Yakuza there, whereas I have got that on PS5, but it's on my external storage. But again, the PS5 does not like external storage, or it doesn't like mine, and mine's... The one I use for PS5 is like, it's just over here. I can almost show you. It's got a plug on it. It's powered by electricity, not USB. So it's not an issue with the power supply. It is just, it doesn't like the external storage. And
mine will run PS4 games fine from that. I've got that sexy little Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. No, it runs them fine, but randomly it will just crash.
It doesn't. There's certain games, like I said, Miles Morales, even though I was running that from the PS5 itself, not external storage, it did not like that.
See,
and
that's
every
weird.
now and again it would just freeze and it would just die, and then I'd have to rebuild the data.
And I tell you what, when you do that with the PS5, for me, I think probably because of the current rarity of those things, every time it does that and you have to hard reset it, it's terrifying.
Yeah, every time.
Because you in your heart you think, no, this will definitely work. It will work, but you're like, if it doesn't, I'm fucked. Because there's no way I'm getting another one of these. I mean, I suppose because mine is literally a review unit, I may be able to go to Sony and say, look, it don't work. I can't review your games or can't cover your games. But I don't know. Maybe they haven't got any stock either. I mean, they probably got a few. But I find it terrifying that thing feels so unstable. So the Xbox is like fine now, I think, for me. But the PS5 feels terribly unstable. But I still prefer, I think, the PS5 because of the games. But I do also think
more time playing my ass.
Really?
My Xbox Series S.
Well, in fairness though, Sony gave us the Demon's Souls, Spider-Man, and we've got Ratchet to come, we've got Returnal to come. There are games coming. I do kind of feel Sony need a shot in the arm in February. Just one game would do it. Just one game to kind of.
I tell you what, I will say though, for something about it, I love the Xbox Series S. I love it. I love that. I still love the Xbox UI. Just something about. I mean, I love the PS5. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan, and I play it probably more because of the games that are on it. But that little white box, I love it. Turning it on, it comes on. It's like a cute little face, and you know, I just something about the Series S that I really like.
Cute little face, Mick.
I can't explain it, but that's
No,
I think it's. So I don't think the novelty's really worn off for me yet. Though.
No, it hasn't, because I'm still thoroughly enjoying. Like there's games that we can't talk about yet that I've played that they just run. Yeah, Persona's one. I've been playing on PS5 via backwards compatibility. It runs so smoothly and like a dream. It doesn't feel out of place. Like, it feels like it should. It's native, even though it's not. Like, I am still very much enjoying these consoles. I think both of them need a shot in the arm in terms of software, and that's really harsh on Sony because they did do it. But it also, like, not being funny, that feels like a lifetime ago at the moment, because we're in a situation where the world of time seems to be moving 7 times quicker than it should, but also half speed. It's bizarre. I really enjoy them, and do you know what? I really like both the controllers. Like, the Xbox Series X and S controller feels really, really nice, and the PS5 one is special, and we've discussed it, but it is nice playing games on those machines. When you take everything else out of it, which just playing games, I'm so happy. But I'm also scared that they're both going to break at any moment's notice. Last question this week. The big news this month is, of course, the return of these. Thoughts, please. And there's a picture of Walker's Quavers, salt and vinegar, and prawn cocktail flavoured. Now, I'm going to be a real bastard here and say we're not going to answer that one, because we do a podcast where we just shoot the shit, okay? And we've done our first episode of that. It's called A Podcast About Podcasters. It's a bad title, but it's an exclusive podcast where you just listen to us talk about. It does seem to be that we end up talking about food all the time. I've got a guest lined up for that. We're going to get Adam on there as well, because I think food. If we're going to talk about food, you can't have a podcast without Adam Carroll. That's patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, and you'll get that for a couple of quid a month. Like it's you get this podcast early, and exclusive videos, code drops. I am bad at pimping us, but I'm going to keep trying to do it at the end of this podcast, and maybe even do it at the beginning of next week. We'll see. But that is, patreon.com/GodIsAGeek. You could probably just type God is a Geek Patreon into Google and find us that way, and it goes directly to this team. Not just us four, I mean the podcast guys, the video guys, the team of God is a Geek. It goes directly there, and it helps us get stuff so we can keep making stuff, essentially. It's the easiest way of saying it. And that's a podcast this week. I'm also going to apologise if there's any weirdness in the audio. I've had some technical issues that I've never had before, so I just want to say, if there's any moment where you thought that seemed like a weird moment, that was it. If you didn't, brilliant job done. Classic cook, they call that. Chris, Adam, Mick, thank you for being here and being patient.
Thank you, man.
And everyone else, we'll speak to you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye for now.